Welcome back to the best and worst of 2023. I'm Sebastian North. This is Campfire Football, and this is part 2 of the video. Let's keep it going. All right, worst managers. I have to go back to Man United and Erik ten Hag. I know this feels a little harsh because he won a title and got them in the Champions League, but they finished bottom of a very average group in the Champions League, and now everything has just gone off a cliff. The biggest issue is the signings he has brought in have just not worked. Antony's been really disappointing. Rasmus Højlund has only one Premier League goal, and it's hard to know how much longer Ten Hag is going to last. All right, next one is Rudy Garcia. He was actually the manager at Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia when Cristiano Ronaldo was brought over, and the relationships with the players did not go well. So he had a shiny new toy in Saudi Arabia he couldn't break, and he was given another one at Napoli. And he has him out of the title race basically by November. He only had 6 wins from 12 games with that team. I mean, it was terrible. And the last one is Frank Lampard. Now, Graham Potter's time at Chelsea was pretty bad, but when Lampard took over as interim, he probably thought, all right, if I get a tune out of these guys, maybe I get the job next season. Not when you win 1-11. I mean, they were in a worse position at the end of the season than when they sacked Graham Potter. All right, let's move on to the best transfers. Number 1 is Harry Kane. He's got 25 goals, 8 assists. He's absolutely on fire. He looks like he's going to smoke Robert Lewandowski's unbreakable record that he set a couple years ago. But also consider that in the spring for Spurs, he had 17 goals and 2 assists as well. So a 50-goal year in all competitions from Harry Kane is outstanding. Next one is Jude Bellingham. I mean, the dude has 17 goals and 5 assists and a bunch of game winners. And let's finish with another £100 million player, Declan Rice. My opinion, Declan Rice is the key for Arsenal. I think they'll win the title this year and if they do, it's because they have Declan Rice. And don't forget, he also won the Europa League with West Ham back in the spring. So incredible year for him. Got his big move. Congrats, man. He earned it. Now let's move on to the worst transfers and talk about the most expensive one. £115 million Moises Caicedo. Really? For a ball retrieving, short passing, holding midfielder. I feel for him because there is really almost nothing that he will ever be able to do to live up to that price tag. So that's on Chelsea, but he also just has not been very good so far. Next, we're back to Neymar. The reason why is because Al Hilal bailed out PSG big time. I mean, PSG wanted to get rid of Neymar, the fans wanted him out, and PSG were willing to listen to offers for like 30 to 40 million, but no one wanted to take on Neymar's salary or his baggage, except for Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia, and they offered 70 million for him. I know they have limitless money, but you don't spend that kind of cash for 5 appearances, 1 goal, and then a season-ending injury. The last bad transfer, Mason Mount. He had a bad year. He was not good at Chelsea in the second half of last season, and at Man United, he's been injured a lot, and when he has played, he hasn't looked like he fits. I mean, he had no goals and 1 assist all year. All right, let's get into a few stories, and then we'll call it a new year. We're gonna start with some of the crazy sagas. The first one has to be the Saudi money. When they signed Ronaldo back in January, everyone knew, okay, a splurge is probably coming. But this was another level, and it got people really riled up. A lot of people in the press being like, oh no, they're coming to take over football. Next one is the sale of Man United, which, look, if you're not a Man United fan, you probably don't care. I don't really, but this was a story that rumbled on all year. There was talk of a Qatari guy coming in to buy them, and then I think a Saudi guy, and apparently that deal is about done. So it was just announced that Jim Ratcliffe will probably be taking over about 20% of the club and doing more football decisions. The last one is Spain's Women's World Cup win. Now, this was a dramatic situation from the start. They already had around a dozen players who were boycotting the team because they didn't like the coach. Then the team goes, wins the whole thing, and then chaos ensues. The Spanish Federation president, Luis Rubiales, plonks a kiss on Jenny Hermoso that she did not ask for. The guy doubles down, says he did nothing wrong, makes up stories about what Jenny Hermoso said to him. Then he's gonna go on some apology explanation tour. All this while the Spanish women were hopefully trying to celebrate winning the World Cup. So congrats to them, but it was a mess. All right, let's wrap up this video with the positive stories of the year. These are just 3 of my favorite. There's plenty to pick from, but let's start with Napoli winning Serie A. That's right, it's the first time since they had Diego Maradona in the side 33 years ago. It's huge for Naples because they have come so close, and finally they've got it. They blew everyone away, and especially Khvicha Kvaratskhelia. His breakout season was amazing. He's one of the funnest players to watch. You just had to love this Napoli story. Next is the emergence of Will Still. At 30 years old, he was named the head coach of Stade de Reims, a Ligue 1 club, and 14 months on, at the age of 31, he's still in charge. It's incredible because so many high-profile coaches have gone into the league and gotten sacked since he took over. What's cool about him, too, is he does not come from a background of professional playing and having a bunch of connections. He's just worked his way up from football manager all the way up to a real football manager. If you don't know the story, you can check it out. I have a video about it. I'll leave it in the description. And the last one is Messi's Miami debut.
This is how it all begins. Oh, here we go. Now he's got the ball. Check this out. First opportunity. We'll just do a little 1-2 here. We'll play the ball wide. Hey, Messi, want to give it back? All right, cool. We'll give it back to you. Hey, let's continue this. This is great. We can do this. I mean, this is going to be so much fun.
Look, I don't really follow MLS, so I was not planning on paying for the Apple season pass. But when Messi was announced, I was like, dude, I have to pay for this. And this was my reaction.
Here we go. Leo Messi to win it for Inter Miami.
Messi! Oh! You have got to be fucking kidding me. But what Lionel Messi did in that Leagues Cup run with Inter Miami was awesome. It was not too dissimilar to the vibe of the World Cup. A short 7-game tournament, and he just picks the team on his back and takes them all the way to the title. All right, everybody, thanks so much for stopping by. My name's Sebastian North. This is Campfire Football. Happy New Year.